Hi, I'm Kirsten Allstaff and I'm from the Online Academy of Irish Music, and my guest here is David Bixler. David, hello.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
It's great to have you. Can we start off by just you telling us a bit about your musical background?
Sure. I am a jazz saxophonist and I have been living in New York City for the past 30 years, and I am also the director of jazz activities at Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio, and yes, that is a wicked commute. And I have a new record coming out called Langston Hughes Project Volume 1, which is music inspired by poetry of Langston Hughes, great American poet, and it features jazz quintet, string quartet, and I collaborated with one of my colleagues who's an electroacoustic composer. I'm really excited about it because it's really a new thing for me.
It sounds very different to Irish traditional music, which we're about to get onto.
Yeah.
So what motivated you as a jazz musician to come here to Ireland to study Irish traditional music?
Well, I mean, it's kind of my personality to all right, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna I don't want to be a dabbler. I really don't have that much time in life left to put in the 30 years that it would probably take to really tackle this music. But I figured if I'm going to learn how to play, I need to immerse myself in what's going on. And we're coming to the end of 4 months here, and it's been far more than I expected it was going to be. The amount of music that's here, it's slowed down now that it's winter time. But when we first got here, there's just music every night. It's satiated with the music here, and the level of players is just pretty off the hook.
Music of North Clare.
Yeah.
Sweet. Is there any specific aspect of Irish traditional music that you're particularly interested in? I know you're playing the flute, but what is it that you find appealing?
It's very addictive. One of the things that has blown me away, there's probably 10,000 tunes in G, and there's not a lot of chromaticism. And the fact that you can come up with all these melodies within these 7 notes is kind of mind-blowing, right? And that's really kind of changed how I've thought it, as an improviser, about all, with 7 notes of a diatonic scale, all these things that you can do with them is pretty cool. Yeah. And and I think also, maybe getting ahead of myself here, but the similarity between Irish and jazz music, is really forged out of oppression. It was kind of a reaction to a people being brutalized and finding respite and peace in playing tunes. I find the earthiness. There's not really a blues element in trad music, but it has that same kind of vibe, like certain tunes do. There's a lot of jigs kind of around here that have this happy vibe, but there's a whole set of tunes that are kind of minor and pentatonic-y that really have that kind of drive. And I really gravitate towards those. I think they're kind of cool.
Can you articulate kind of what the main challenges and difficulties that you've found learning Irish music from a jazz background?
You have to have a certain amount of humility to be kind of a beginner again, and to sit around at a session maybe for a long swath of time where you don't know any tunes, and that's can be demoralizing, but it's just it's what it is. The other difficult thing, as I spend more time playing the music, and like people such as yourself, hearing like the nuance that's there, and I know I'm just scratching the surface with it now, and there's things that I know that I'm hearing and trying to do now, just with the with the ornamentation. That is, a huge part of the rhythmic propulsion of this music, and getting clarity on it. In a way, this is kind of like similar to my journey, like as a jazz musician, like going back 40 years, where you're just trying to figure it out, you're trying to listen, and all of a sudden, like, you unlock something, and then you realize that it's everywhere. Like a melodic lick that someone plays, all of a sudden, oh wait, it's everywhere, and I didn't realize it. And that's happening like with whatever ornamentation there is.
So how do you see the relationship between jazz and traditional Irish? Are there any similarities?
Similarities, as was mentioned before, is like where this music comes from. And I think the spirit of the music is very similar, and I think that's one of the big draws for me that I didn't really realize until I was here more. And then there was one other thing I was thinking about. It's about the rhythm. It's about the dance. And I've heard, why isn't jazz popular? Because they took the dance out of it. It's so intellectual, and I love that music. But jazz music used to be dance music, and it's hard to dance to something in 11 or 7 unless you're from Bulgaria or something. But there's all these kind of like angsty intellectual creations, which are great. I love them, but you really almost have to be a musician to really want to appreciate it.
Well, I suppose Irish music, the jigs and the reels, they are dance tunes, and the slides and the polkas, but in the pubs, it's the music and the dance have kind of become divorced from each other, sadly.
Yeah, I've seen dancing one time in a pub since I've been here. My tagline was, Irish music's a lot like jazz, except for people like it. Because if you don't know, like with bebop, I'm supposing if you don't know the intricacies of the language, it sounds the same to you. And I think that a lot of Irish music sounds the same until you get in.
Lastly, what advice can you give to other jazz musicians that are looking to explore Irish traditional music?
It's about listening, and I think, when I first kind of did this, I thought, this is going to be easy, man. It's like 3 pentatonic scales. I mean, how hard could it be?
Give us a smile there. Yeah. Give us a smile there into the camera to finish off.
All right. Yes. Yes, we crushed it.